Welcome to the running journey. Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome
to the running journey. Running journey, yeah. Welcome to The Running Journey, a transformative podcast telling the story of two brothers faced with a very tough time in their lives that decided to do something about it, get healthy, get fit, and start jogging. The Running Journey will take you through half marathons, Ironmans, ultra marathons, and their attempt at qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
Don't forget 5Ks. Sorry.
We're certainly not going to forget 5Ks, Charlie. This is The Running Journey. Listen to us while you run.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I think we have our intro. All right, guys, welcome to The Running Journey. Great to have you here again with us for another episode of The Journey. Great space to be chatting with my brother, Charlie. Charlie, good to see you again.
Yeah, same.
Today's a fun one. We're chatting a little bit about Run with Rob. I'm pretty excited about it. I know you're excited about it. So
yep.
I forget, did I tell you about this before I was starting it, or did this just kind of come out of the blue?
Yeah, to me it did. It kind of came out of the blue. So what made you decide to want to do this?
So it was kind of my wife and I started a charity, CMV Canada, cytomegalovirus. CMV is short for cytomegalovirus. It's a congenital birth defect. It impacts about 1 in 150 babies, and about 1 out of 4 or 5 of those get seriously impacted. And there's a method for screening newborn babies, and there's a method for treatment, and the treatment has a positive outcome, and yet we're not screening these babies. So when we started this charity about 10, 12 years ago, there was no universal screening. There was no targeted screening. There was none of that going on. So Michelle and I decided we would raise funds. We would raise funds to raise awareness. We wanted to fund research. We wanted to support parents, and we wanted to advocate for change. We kind of had 4 missions for our charity. Well, since then, we worked very hard on changing things, and we have universal screening for newborn babies in Ontario. We now have universal screening for newborn babies in Saskatchewan, but we don't have it in Manitoba. I've had this bill in front of the legislature for like 2 years now to make universal screening for newborn babies in Manitoba, which would basically mean you get a baby, you've had babies. You remember when I don't know if you remember this, when they prick the heel and there's like a dried blood spot, and they put it on a card, and then they go and they send that card to the lab, and the baby gets tested for like 20 or 25 kind of different potential ailments. Yeah. Well, we're trying to get this one added to that. So the baby would be screened, and we've proven it's cost effective. We've proven that parents want it, like all the medical community is behind it. It's just like a political problem, and it pisses me off so much that we're at a standstill. So I was at the CMV National Conference, which I was co-chairing in August, and I was at a dinner with the Moderna people, and they're big sponsors of what we do for CMV Canada. And she said, "Oh, you should do a stunt. Have you ever thought of running, something like doing something?" She was a runner, and we were talking about our races. And I was like, that's a great idea. And the political activists from the government had told me, you need to do a stunt. You need to do a press conference. You need to have people and signs, and you need to get in the media. The only way you're going to get this front and center. So I said, okay, what's a stunt I could do? And she suggested running. And then I said, boom, I'm going to run across Manitoba. Because I'd always thought I was going to run across Canada. But I mean, I got 4 kids, and I don't know, that wouldn't be fair to leave my family for 7 months. I think I could probably, how long do you think it would take you to run across Canada?
I haven't thought about it.
I've spent a lot of time.
A couple months, maybe.
Well, I think it's like, what is it, 7,000 miles, I think. So 7,000 kilometers. Sorry. What am I mistaken here? 7,000 kilometers or 8,000 kilometers? How many kilometers from Vancouver to Halifax? It's not quite that, but I think it's like, that's 6,000 plus another 1,000 to get to St. John. So call it 7,000 kilometers. So it's not quite 200 marathons. So if you get, an off day every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, it takes you 7 months, 7.5 months to do it.
Wow, I can't believe Terry Fox did it all the way to Thunder Bay. That's crazy.
What an unbelievable hero, eh?
All the way to Thunder Bay. Wow, that's like he did half of that. Wow, that's just mind-boggling, actually.
He did more than half, actually, because like I know the center of Canada is in Landmark, Manitoba, next to our hometown here, but because he did St. John and he went all the way down and he kind of looped around and came back.
Yeah.
I think he did like 4,000 of the 7,000 or something like that. I think he might have did 5,000 of the 7,000.
All right.
So like he's a hero. So my whole life I've always kind of admired him. I always thought he was just so inspiring, and I got into this kick where I was watching his documentaries. There's a whole bunch of different ones, and there's some made for TV movies, and there's a Canadian movie about him made from the 80s, and that was the summer I was watching, and then I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run across Manitoba. And I think I mentioned it to you at one point, and you were like, I think you were somewhat encouraging. You're like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll do it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I asked my wife first. I said, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to run across Manitoba. Do you have any? And she's always like, like Rob's doing something else stupid or crazy or whatever. But she was very supportive of this one. And I think like I'm kind of doing it over 2 weekends. So it's going to allow me to kind of take the family with me on the weekend. And then during the week, I'm going to living in a motorhome and then back on the weekend. So that's kind of how it came about. It was a combination of the NDP provincial lobby guy that I spoke to. I've been speaking to all the political activists. I've been trying to get ideas. Him, the gal at Moderna who suggested I do it, and then Terry Fox. That's kind of how I came up with the idea.
Cool. Is there anything more that you forgot to mention about CMV that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I think CMV is okay. So it's the number one cause of infant disability. It's a viral infection that the mom, it infects the mom. And if she's pregnant, if she gets this any other day of the year, well, she's not pregnant, it's no big deal. It's like kind of a run-of-the-mill cold. But if she happens to get it while she's pregnant, the virus will attack the nervous system of the baby. It's kind of like you've probably heard of this through what's it called? Rubella. Rubella is another one of these diseases that if the mom gets it while she's pregnant, but I mean, there's like 2 cases of congenital rubella in the last 20 years, 2. And CMV, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of cases. So it's the quiet disease. No one's ever really talked about it. We're changing the landscape in Canada. CMV Canada, this was the first place on earth, Ontario, where there's universal screening. Every single baby in Ontario is universally screened. Saskatchewan was the second place. Now Minnesota is screening universally. So it's kind of funny that we're surrounded in Manitoba by places that are universally screening, and yet the birthplace of the lobby group, CMV Canada, started here in Winnipeg with Michelle and I, my wife and I, and we still don't have it done here. I've got targeted screening. We've had a targeted screening protocol in place now for 5 years, but I'm just really looking forward to getting this done. And I didn't know how much work was actually done through charities and running. Like running and charities, they go hand in hand. And you probably know this better than I do. I didn't realize the depth at which people raise money through running, either for their charities or like by adding a charitable component to a run, or vice versa. There's a lot of awareness and a lot of fundraising that happens.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good mix.
Yeah, for sure. So CMV. So a lot of accomplishments so far, but now kind of the main objective is to get it legislated here in Manitoba. And for this run, you kind of got 2 objectives from what I understand. One is to raise awareness, and 2 is to raise some money. So as far as raising awareness, what type of plans do you have for that?
So on the website, there's kind of 4 calls to action on the runwithrob.com website. I named it Run with Rob because it's kind of like I want people to run with me. But on the website, there's 4 calls to action. The first one is run with me. I want people to run with me. And we'll talk about more of that in a sec. But 2 is sign the petition. We have a petition on change.org. It links directly to the website. I want the Manitoba government to get a big fat document of printed pages of thousands and thousands and thousands of names that are saying, pass this bill. Enough is enough. So sign the petition. So that's one thing. And then obviously sponsor the event. We're trying to raise money. It goes without saying that obviously I'm trying to do this to raise money. So there's a whole bunch of different sponsorship levels. Title sponsor starts at 25 grand and you could sponsor a leg for $2,500. So 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever. There's all different levels, places to get involved. And the fourth call to action is sponsor someone, sponsor or donate. You know, if Charlie, if you're running in it, you know, I'm hoping that you're going to send it to your buddies and your hockey teammates and your chess friends and your Settlers of Catan friends. And hopefully they see that you're running a half marathon and they're going to donate $50 or $20 or $10. So that's kind of the vision for the event. It's kind of got 4-pronged approach. We're hoping to get thousands of signatures. We're hoping to raise over $100,000 of funds at least. We're hoping to get a lot of people to run, and then we're hoping to get a lot of individual donors. So it's all of the above.
Cool. And then as far as training for this, are you doing anything specific or like from a running perspective, like how are you feeling?
You know, when I was in Florida, I did the half marathon every day for 6 days. And I felt really, really, really good. So I didn't push the pace. I just took it nice and easy. I went 2-hour half marathons. It felt like I could jog forever. The heart rate average was like 127, 126, 128. So like
that's fast walking for me.
Yeah, but I don't think your device measures properly or something, or mine doesn't, because every time you're like, oh, I did something today and I was at 150. And I was like, okay, well, I was running next to you and it looked like I was working harder than you. And anyways, 127, 128 is kind of what I was doing.
But that's really low. Like, that's good. Yeah.
I know. And I felt so good. I felt like I could just run forever. And I've never in my life I've never tried to do a slow half, I guess. Because every time I've ever signed up for a half in my life, I've pushed myself. Obviously, you try to beat whatever goal you have in your head that day. I haven't done that many halves.
Yeah, but when you do your long runs, like
when I do my long runs,
portion of it should be easy, I would imagine.
But they're not this slow. I've never run this slow. This was like 10-minute nine. What did I average? 9:40 or something like that. 9:45. So almost 10-minute. So I don't think I've not jogged that slow for any of my long runs in a while. So this was way slower than what I used to. So it was awesome. Awesome in that it was like I could just enjoy it. I wasn't sore afterwards. I felt really good. I get that it's going to be very, very hard and it's a lot different than doing one of these. And I got to do 24 of them, but I was optimistic. So basically the training program is just slowly increase my mileage up until then. And I mean, I'm sure it'll get more complicated than that, but for now it's just because I also have I have an ultra next month and then we have an Ironman in April. So I'm naturally building up to it. So it's
how much time between your Ironman and this?
It's a little tight. You're going to say May 12th and our Ironman is what, April 22nd?
Yeah.
So
but relative, like the Ironman doesn't kill your legs as much as a marathon would, right? Like compared to.
Yeah. And I've said this before on this podcast, but like I felt way, way, way better after my Ironman than I did after our LA marathon, where we smashed our quads and smashed our PBs by, a half hour. I felt way better the next day. Like that night after I did my Ironman, I remember finishing the race and talking to the boys and being like, I want to go for another jog. Like I know I'm exaggerating, but I was like, I could run they're like, oh, Rob, we'll carry you. And I was like, no, like I'll prove to you guys that I can run back to the hotel. So like I started.
You want to do a 1 mile race?
Do you want to do a mile race right now? Let's go. That's kind of what I was doing. Let's go. You want to race me? Let's go. And they're like, easy. Let's just go for a drink. So, but it was like, I don't remember what time. It must have been like 10 p.m. by the time I finished. Right. So I was, It was different. So anyways, I did feel good because it was just like slow all day, right? You're just moving slow all day. So I did feel good. Felt good about that. So I guess I'm optimistic. The key is going to be avoiding injury, obviously, because I'm pretty sure mentally I can handle it. I know it's going to be tough, and I'm not trying to understate that. I'm pretty sure I can handle it mentally, which is one of the reasons I'm asking people to run with me, because I remember how fun it was to run with you. And I was like, okay, if I could run with like, you know, someone that I work with on Monday, and like on Monday night run with a hockey buddy, and Tuesday morning run with a cousin, and Tuesday afternoon run with my dad, and like how cool is that going to be, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons I called it Run with Rob, and I'm inviting everyone to come run, and we're going to have a pretty neat setup.
Yeah. And and Manitoba at that time of year. So come from all over the world. People should come from all over the world for this, because it's like Manitoba is amazing that time of year. You're going to see the whole province. Like I'll sign up for the Northwest Angle one. I don't know if that's one, but just kidding.
No, it finishes. So the last leg is like Falcon Lake to the border.
Okay. Yeah. That's going to be a tough one.
It's uphill quite a bit, and it's actually the last part. That's a 2-lane highway. If you can imagine, we have a 2-lane highway on the Trans-Canada. So I'm running the entire Trans-Canada highway. So it's one end to the other, and at the end, it's the only part that's 2-lane. But we're actually doing a portion of it, or the vast majority of it, on trails. So the last half is a trail half. Because we want to avoid the 2-lane traffic because the rest of the event is on 4 lanes. So I believe there's 1 mile on the highway, the last mile on the highway, and everything else is on trails.
Well,
so it's going to be a trail run.
It'd be less stressful. It'll be good, a good change for you.
Plus, we had an extra like 4 or 5 kilometers that we were short.
Oh, okay.
So it was only like 16 kilometers the last half. So we said, we'll do through trails, and we'll add, and it'll go to the border, and it'll be exactly 21 kilometers.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And it's uphill.
So can you talk a little bit about how people sign up, and maybe the logistics and things like that?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm the most excited about is obviously I'm envious, and I'm humbled and so impressed with what Terry did. But really what he also did is he created a cool culture, right? He had a motorhome, had some buddies running with him. He had, a little bit of press, so it was kind of neat in that it was an experience. So I'm trying to recreate that. I'm trying to recreate that experience. So we're going to have a motorhome. We're going to have a crew. We're going to have a race director. We're going to have a physiotherapist on site with us. Kante, I was trying to think of his first name. Kante Gava is going to be there. So we're going to have a team, an army, kind of coming with us or accompanying the runners on the road. So in a perfect situation, there would be multiple runners for all 24 of the legs. So each of the 24 legs, starting on May 12th at the Saskatchewan border, May 12th, the first marathon, the first half's at 4 p.m. We start at it's called the Saskatchewan starter, and we start on the Saskatchewan, and we go 21 kilometers. And then I think we finish in Elkhorn or something like that, and then on, and you just keep doing it. But that night, we're going to sleep at, the Verdun Hotel or wherever, and we're going to set that all up. So it's really going to be an atmosphere. But the porta potties and the day of, that's going to be in the motorhome. So like your race headquarters are going to be in the motorhome. So if there's 5 or 6 people doing leg 7 just outside of Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, and they need to use the washroom before the race, they're using the motorhome, right? So they're going to use the motorhome. We're going to have a truck or a vehicle out in front. We're going to have the motorhome at the back, and we're going to have the race directors in between. There's going to be an opportunity for any runner at any time to get whatever they need, whether it's gels or hydration or food. And after the race, there's going to be an opportunity for them to get worked on. So I'm excited about the high level of experience that we're giving to someone. Like, this isn't like signing up for the Manitoba Marathon where there's going to be 10,000 people and you're going to be 1 out of 1,000,000. This is going to be a really custom, bespoke experience that you're never going to get to experience. I think it's going to be the closest you're ever going to get to feeling like Terry Fox did. We're going to run together. So all of those 24 legs, aside from the leg 17, which is in Winnipeg. But the other legs, all of them, we're going to, the runners that are running that is going to be a group run. So it's going to be a group run. So we're going to decide a pace. We're going to decide, okay, today we're doing it at 2 hours or 2:05 or 1:50, or hopefully not faster than that. Because
and then how are you going to decide what that pace is? It going to be based on who's there?
Based on who's there. So, if there's a smaller group of runners, we're going to organize I'm going to ask them what pace they want to run at, and we're going to figure it out together. If it's impossible to come to the same pace, we're probably going to, we're okay with potentially breaking into 2 groups or something like that, because we will have people, right? We're going to have volunteers there. And the key is we just don't want anyone to get hit. So we are getting approval to run on these highs, but it is the Trans-Canada Highway, right? So there's going to be a motorhome in the back, flashing signs, and then runners, and then a vehicle in the front. So if that spreads out over 10, 15, 20 minutes, that's not the end of the world. What I don't want is someone coming in and running an hour 17 half, and then someone running a 3-hour half, right? We don't want that to happen. So we're going to try to keep everyone within 10, 15, 20 minutes in the pace of their marathon. But ideally, we're going to run together, and it's going to be an experience. We're also going to get, we got finishers medals. We're going to have some swag. It's going to be like you're doing a regular half, in that you're going to get the experience of that, but you're also going to be part of something pretty special, I think.
So there's going to be a vehicle, like there's going to be your motorhome, and then is there going to be another vehicle at the back or anything like that?
So it'll be like truck in the front, truck/SUV in the front.
Yeah.
Motorhome in the back with the flashing lights and the beware runners, and then bikes in between. Potentially another run, but bikes in between, like the tournament, the race director just checking in on everyone. Do you need anything? Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, so it's going to be a very custom experience. So if someone needs a Gatorade or water, like, they're going to have it brought to them. And the other thing we're going to do, we're also going to set up predetermined aid stations. So like the truck in the front will set up an aid station at mile 4, let's say, and 8, so that if you need to stop and pick up something, you can. But if you need something else in addition, it's going to be very custom and bespoke. So it's pretty exciting, the level of thought that's been put into this and the effort. We just had a meeting actually with the organizing committee, and it's really coming together.
Oh, sounds like fun. I mean, the more, like, when you first told me, I was running a lot of miles, and it didn't seem like that much to do all those miles when you first told me. And I said, but it is a lot. Like, it's 26 miles a day for 14 days. That's 26 times 7 is 140.
It's 12 days.
180 mile a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 506 kilometers over 12 days.
Yeah. So it'll be the most volume you've ever
by far the most volume I've ear done, by far, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, what would your heaviest week be ever in your life?
The most I've ever done is, I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure I've done 71, maybe twice.
Yeah. So like
not much 70. More. 71 is probably the most I've ever done. I mean, I know, like, what's his name? Elliot probably does 120, 130 when he's peaking, but that's still less than what you're doing.
Yeah. And again, Elliot, like, we are regular guys. We're regular guys that were overweight, that didn't know what they were doing, that decided to start running. So, like, that guy is the greatest runner ever in the history of the planet. So, I mean, and I'll be running more than him.
Yeah. So, yeah. Are you breaking any kind of records? Or anything? Have you looked into that?
We have looked into it, and the record for most amount of half marathons, so sanctioned half marathons in a month, is 20 for males and 23 for females. So the problem, I think, with that record is that it's tough to get races sanctioned, right? It's tough to find enough half marathons to get sanctioned in a month, because most of them are on the weekend, right? Most half marathons that you do. So we have sanctioned every single race with the Manitoba Runners Association, which means every single race will be an official half marathon, every single one. And that means you're going to get an official time. And that means, there's going to be a chip, and it's going to feel like a real event. It's going to be a real event. So when I complete all my 24, I will have the Guinness record for most number of half marathons in a month, and never mind in a month in 13 days. So that's pretty exciting. We're working with Guinness right now to see what they need to get that approved, but that piece is pretty cool. I always thought breaking a Guinness record would be like most amount of eggs eaten in a minute or something like that. But this is one that I can see it. I can see myself beating this record. I thought the record was going to be like, what do you think the actual record of someone training is? Like, do you think someone's ever done like 50 halves in a month, or like?
I'm sure it's happened. Like training. Like I know I was, yeah. So I think I followed a woman who did like 60 full marathons in a row or something.
Yeah. So I know that they often do one a day, right?
Yeah.
So
it's I guess it's different, but I mean,
it's kind of a unique record in that it's like to get a large number.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get a large number, you got to do multiple per day.
Yeah.
And who really wants to do 2 half marathons in a day? You'd rather do a full. It would make way more sense to do a full, I think. Well, if you had the choice, would you rather do it all in one shot, or would you rather split it up?
Well, it's a lot easier to split it up.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was thinking too is that,
I mean, but it's, yeah, doing one straight is a lot. Like doing one in the morning and afternoon is a lot more doable to me. And I would say.
Yeah. So I'm doing 8 a.m. and then 4 p.m. And, 8 a.m. done by 10, crush a meal, crush a nap, and then get some emails done, whatever, get some work done, and back at it at 4 o'clock, right? So that's kind of going to be my life for 12, 13 days.
What are you going to do for nutrition during that time?
I don't know. So I do have a nutritionist that I work with, and her and I have talked about kind of the plan. I have no idea how many calories I'm supposed to eat. I remember that was one of the things that stuck out at me at Terry Fox when he was doing his Marathon of Hope, the sheer amount of calories he would eat. Like he'd eat 3 meals and I already can eat 3 meals. Like I'm a big eater.
So you're going to need a cook or something. Like you're going to need like 6,000 calories a day or something.
All right. So you're volunteering to be a cook?
No, absolutely not.
No. Yeah. I think it's going to be,
or just go out every night and
we'll probably just do that.
3 meals. Give me 4 cheeseburgers or whatever.
Yeah. I'm a big omelet guy, omelet and potatoes and bacon. Give me 3 breakfasts.
Yeah.
after every run, that's the thing. We'll find the diner.
Have a huge breakfast after every run.
Yeah, like the double S. We'll hit the double S and richer. We'll hit Humpties.
I think it's like run over.
The double S is gone. Okay, we had actually named one of the legs the double S, and we ended up changing it.
But, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. So yeah, any interesting legs we want to talk about here?
Yeah, actually.
Or is there? Where could I find this information too? I guess.
So go to Run with Rob.
Yeah.
runwithrob.com, and all the legs, everything is on there. runwithrob.com, and it connects you on the main page. There's the 4 call to actions. So that's register to run, sponsor, sign the petition, donate, and if you actually click on the register now button, all the legs are there. So leg 1, the Saskatchewan starter. Leg 2, the Oil King. So starts just outside of Elkhorn and finishes
Inverted.
You got it. Leg 3 is the Marco, named after my buddy Marco. It's his birthday that day. He's one of the tournament directors, and he's signing up for it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
did he start training or anything?
He started yesterday. You know what he did?
He walked 2 miles.
Cross country skied.
That's good.
He did 6 kilometers.
And wow!
I asked him how it went. And he said, pretty good. I mean, I worked really, really, really hard. I did 6 kilometers, took me an hour. I mean, I was working hard. I said, what did your heart rate go at? And I think he said average heart rate was 158. So I was
that's like an easy run for me.
Well, I told him, you worked pretty hard.
Yeah,
and then the Oak starts just outside of Oak Lake, the Combine. Leg 6 is Wheat City, passing through Brandon, Manitoba. Big Sky. Leg 8 is called Even Steven. And probably the world's flattest marathon. It's less than 2 meters of elevation, so like 4 feet of elevation on 21 kilometers.
And how
finishing at the Robin's Nest Motel in Carberry, Manitoba. Leg 9 is friendly Manitoba. Leg 10 is the drop because it's the steepest drop of all the runs. It's 80 meters of decline, 250 feet or so of decline, constant decline, passing by Austin, passing through McGregor.
I'll PR. I'll just sign up for that one and try to PR.
But I mean, it's nothing compared to the Revel series.
Yeah.
The gravel road is done on a service road just outside of McGregor, passing around Portage la Prairie. Leg 12 is Portage. Leg 13 is the Ninjago, named after my son Alexandre and his favorite Lego series. That's his birthday. Leg 14, the Grain Silo. 15, the White Horse. Probably know where that one is. Have you ever passed by Saint François Xavier?
Oh yeah, there's that horse. Yeah,
the big white horse. We're going to pass right by there. Leg 16. This is one that I do want to mention. So leg 16 is the one where we're inviting the entire community of runners to come out Saturday morning, 8 a.m. on May 20th. It's the CMV Canada half marathon. So that one is going to be volunteers. It's a regular half marathon. So you sign up and you're going to run it at whatever pace you want. And there's not going to be any motorhomes. There's not going to be any, you're in Winnipeg. You start at Headingley and you finish at Whittier Park. And you're going to run through Wellington Crescent. You're going to run through Assiniboine Park. You're going to run through the Forks, the greatest and most beautiful scenery in Winnipeg, the best landmarks in Winnipeg. It finishes sunny St. Boniface, about half a kilometer from my house. Beautiful, beautiful leg. The best and most beautiful half marathon to do in the country. Leg 17 is the Voyageur because we start at Whittier Park and we finish just outside of Deacon's Corner. Leg 18 is the center of Canada. We're passing through Landmark, Manitoba in the center of Canada. Leg 19 is the Aces.
Oh, I always try to avoid that. No, just kidding.
You try to avoid St. Anne, Manitoba? Yeah. So we're passing right by St. Anne, Manitoba. St. Anne, Manitoba, home of the Aces. And they were the biggest rival when I grew up. Leg 20 is the Wooded Wonder. So this is passing right by Geppetto's and the old double S and Richer. And you kind of finish by Haddishville there. Leg 21 is the Spruce Sanctuary. Leg 22, the Forest Trail. Leg 23 is the Falcon, finishing right at Falcon Lake. Nice. And then the last leg is the Ontario End, which is a trail run. So it's pretty neat. There's something in it for everyone. If your cottage country is in the White Shell and you happen to be there, come out for one of the morning runs or the afternoon runs. If you're from Western Manitoba in McGregor or in Austin or Portage or Souris or wherever, Boissevain, come out for the run when we're out there. I need people to run with me every single day, and I need more than one person to run with me every day. So my initial goal, I remember I asked you, I said, do you think I can find one person to run with me every single day? And you're like, yeah, I think so. You know enough runners. You'll have to pull some strings and pull some favors and twist some arms, but you should be able to do it. And then I decided to kind of blow this thing up and make it big. And now I'm confident that we should be able to get hundreds and hundreds of runners to participate. But it's going to be key to make sure to have at least someone to run with me every day, and mostly for the cause, but also for my boredom. Not to be bored, ask them about their day, ask them how the jog's going, ask them about their training. So sign up, register to run the race. And also it's $50 to register, but if we're asking everyone to register, it's a fundraiser. We're trying to raise funds. We're trying to raise awareness. We're asking you to raise $250. And if you raise $250, you get your $50 back. So we're not trying to collect that $50 from you. We really want you to make this an event that you're going to care about, that you're going to train for, and you're going to share. We want you to share on social media, on all the outlets, what you're doing, why you're doing it. So it's pretty exciting. I'm pumped, as you could probably tell. I'm really, really excited about the Ironman, but I'm also really, really, really excited about this.
And the Ultra.
Yeah, the Ultra's coming up in a month. Yeah.
That'll be a good training. Sorry, I have a question about the CMV thing before you go there. So let's say once we're signed up and we want to start following you, like I'm going to run a few for sure. So if people care about running with me, maybe someone will want to run with me too. But if people want to follow you when you're doing it, is there any plan to kind of broadcast what's going on, or what are we thinking here?
Yeah, we actually had a meeting with the social media and the marketing committee yesterday, and we had a call on this. And there's going to be basically two things that are going to happen. CMV Canada is going to be the main. So we debated creating a whole other social media profile and personality and entity called, Run with Rob or something, and then just to push content from that. But we already have, I have like tens of thousands of followers on my personal, and then CMV Canada has a lot of followers on there. So instead of creating a new one, we're going to use those two. So follow me either on my YouTube channel. So that's Rob Tatro on my YouTube channel. Follow The Running Journey here. We're going to talk about it. Follow CMV Canada on their YouTube channel, or any of those three entities on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I have a TikTok page. So we're going to have a documentary crew. I'm going to do daily vlogs, and I'm going to do, I don't know. I want to find out, do you know if there's a way to like share my data live, my heart rate, where I am, all that. So like, that'd be kind of neat, right? When you're doing your Ironman, you could kind of see that little dot, beep, 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 and where Rob is.
We could build something. I mean, I could probably find someone to build that. I mean, I don't think Strava can do it live, but you could just upload every 10 minutes or something if you do it on Strava. If people are following you, like that'd be one way, a low-tech way of doing it.
So anyways, this kind of stuff we have to figure out, and I'm all ears. If someone's got a good idea, by all means, put it in the comments below, send us a note. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but I want to be very, very present. So I'm going to be like, this is like, I've decided to share this with everyone. So obviously I'm going to share how I'm feeling. I'm going to share how the fundraising is going. We're going to talk about it. This will be my life for 2 weeks. And hopefully, Charlie, if you end up doing more than 2 or 3, it could be your life too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat because there's guys around the office here that I never thought would ever do kind of half marathons. And they're like signing up for half marathons now, and they're debating what they can do. And, there's a guy, Derek, who I work with, who said, I'm going to sign up for this thing. I can do this thing. And I think there's a $500 bet out there that he can't finish the half marathon. He's never jogged. I shouldn't say never. He jogged a lot in high school. He was like a long distance track runner, which was 3,000 meters and 5,000 meter cross country. And he was good. Like, I believe he won zones one year, zone 13. So he was good. And, but he's not jogged since. Now he's fit. He's a very good athlete. And they were saying, Reggie was saying, you can't do it. You're not going to be able to run a half marathon. And the bet was he has to just keep running. And I said, no. That's up for interpretation. Let's pick a time, and he's got to finish it before that time. And they asked me, what do you think a fair time would be? And I said 2 hours and 20 minutes. So he's got 2 hours and 20 minutes to finish a half without training. So he's got to go ice cold that morning, and he's got to just do a half in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Do you think he can do it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. So people have to understand that this guy's a really good athlete. So anybody else, I would say no chance. But at 220, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the number's a good number, because I know he probably thinks it's going to be way easier than he thinks. Like 2 hours of running, how hard could it be? Is probably what he's saying in his head.
Yeah.
Because that's his attitude and that's his approach to thing. I hope he comes up against adversity really hard. I hope it punches him in the face, and I hope he overcomes it, and I hope he just makes it and he leaves it all in the course and he doesn't get hurt. That would be kind of an ideal situation. But I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. So on that point, I think another question about the logistics, like, I'm sure we don't want to exclude anyone. So if you're having a bad day, let's say you start and you're having a bad day and it's hard, is there things in place so that people can still finish it even though they're kind of going slower than they expect?
Yeah, absolutely. So like if someone wants to just walk it, like the motorhome will follow the trail, the trailing pack. And if you want to quit, if you're done and you're tapping out, you go into the motorhome. We will arrange for transportation back to your vehicle.
Have some beers, whatever.
Have some beers, talk about, what went wrong. One of the coolest parts about running races is the reminiscing hour.
Talking about it.
Yeah, like you spend 3-4 hours just talking about the race. Oh, I pushed the pace and then this and that. So
I grabbed the cup and I spilled on the guy beside me.
Why didn't you stop? Why did you stop right in front of me in LA? I still don't get it. You're like, oh, I'm not going to drink.
I called you. I told you I'm grabbing one, and you're like, no, he's not.
No, you went right ahead of me, and you went to the last one. So I was going to take the last one because you're like, I'm not taking any. So you took
No, that's the thing. I said I am taking one.
Okay. I didn't hear you. I was like, why is he taking my water? I was all pissed off. The good thing of that marathon is they had one every 2 miles or a mile and a half or whatever. But so anyone who's not feeling up to it can just go and chill in the motorhome. If they need to settle down and walk, we could probably we're going to arrange for someone to either bike with them or accompany them to the end. We want everyone who wants to finish.
All right.
Yeah. So it's inclusive. It's going to be neat. And the website just went live. So I have a list in my phone of everyone that I've talked to in the last 2-3 months that have told me, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to do one. So now I'm going to reach out. I have like 50 names in here. I wonder how many are actually going to sign up. Like, I wonder how many people are going to put their money where their mouth is. And how many of my buddies and friends and people who haven't jogged in forever. And I'm going to push people, and I'm hoping that we get a lot of people.
Sounds good. That's amazing.
Awkwardsilence.com.
Yep.
All right. We'll wrap it up there.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Press the bell to make sure you're notified when we have new content out. This is the running journey. It's our story of our journey. Don't forget to give us your comments down low. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Run with Rob. If you're planning on doing it, let us know which runs you're doing. And by all means, make sure to tell your friends about the podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video.